So we're back to a really old friend. Because I have a bunch of shit to drop off.
You...
Yes, Pickle Piss and Pump-a-Bum. Got it.
So did they just get, like, some rando intern to voice this character every time?
I would have said yes if I didn't know for a fact that Tara Strong voices either Dinah or Tillo in Dark Souls 2.
What?
Yeah, whatever the more feminine sounding one is actually voiced by Tara Strong. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like fucking Ron Perlman or something.
IMDb Dark Souls 3. Let's go on a journey of discovery.
Picklebee!
There's a remix in there somewhere.
I'm sure someone's done like a... Oh, I forget what those remixes are where they kind of take like the elements of the game and that's the entire audio for the song they use.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of carvings and Solar's pants.
Wow. What the fuck were you doing with Solar's pants?
So if you've played Dark Souls 1, you should understand that this staircase has a secret if you actually go to the bottom.
What are you talking about? There's just a bunch of empty space.
But look. There's a bonfire over there. I wonder how you get... Oh. That's how you get to it.
Astounding.
Look at all those low poly trees.
And who is this?
So I'll just say that I planned for this, but there's a part of this conversation that goes really well.
Name thyself, stranger. I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights. What beckoned thee to such a place?
Of the bonfire.
Thou thinkst too. Very well.
So if you haven't completed
Captain
Sirius's
to
quest
this
line
knightless
to get the
company
Dark
I
Moon
remain.
loyalty, you don't have to complete the
will
whole
grant
thing,
thee
just up to the
purpose.
point that she gives it to you. You can't join this covenant.
I know that for a fact.
Thou'st journeyed far. Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I place thee under the aegis and the power of the Dark Moon.
So I know we just joined another covenant, but welcome to the covenant we're
Thou
going
art
to
now
stay
a
in
blade of
for the
the
rest of
Dark
the
Moon.
game.
The only knight of our company. Swear this oath and face thy solemn duty.
So this
Oh,
is Yorshka, who's
good blade of
a
the
lot
Dark
like
Moon.
Priscilla
Welcome home.
from Dark Souls 1.
If I can
And
provide
Pontiff
thee succor,
Sullivan just kind of put
only
her over
tell
here
me
because
how.
he's a huge dick.
Long ago, our father Gwyn
That's basically his
lamenting the
entire
waning
character
of the
motivation.
fire, became cinder of his own will. Now, the fire is linked by the champions who have come in his stead.
Yeah, it doesn't make Gwyn seem so
Such
special,
is the
does
will
it?
of Father and the gods. And so the Dark Moon Knights took arms
Who needs Gwen?
to watch over those who link the fire.
He's like a candle where the wick's all
But
the way
long
down.
ago, our company lost its last proper knight. Only its covenant was preserved to this day, until the time of thy visit. Heirdom taketh many forms, indeed. May I pose thee a question?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
This tower,
Why do you look like a
this
dragon?
prison, stands tall and solitary, the contraption bridging its lower reaches long unmoving. So, by what path didst thou here ascend?
I mean, didn't you see?
Art thou a creature
No, she was
of the
around the
air,
corner.
or other winged thing?
I mean, look at me. I'm a dragon.
Oh my. I imagined it might be so.
Oh,
Then thou art a dragon?
Yes, she gets
Or
it.
perhaps a crow?
Whoa.
Well,
So I forgot that she
whatever
actually
thou
tries to guess
beest,
that you're a dragon, and you can
thou
totally
art
be a
wondrous
dragon.
strange, yet strangely familiar, visitor. Off so soon? May the dark moon watch over thee.
So we are going to put that covenant on right away. And so I know that a lot of people have complained, at least particularly in this game, that the dark moons are just not summoned, like, at all. We're going to put that to the test and see if for the rest of the game I ever get an invasion or a helpful summon. Because otherwise, if you want the Covenant item, you can farm the Silver Knights that have a drop rate for the Proof of Concord kept that's like, it feels like it's a 1/10 or a 0.5%. It's absolutely insane.
Look, knowing these games, it's very possible.
So I hope you appreciate descending the tower in the Church of Yorshka. It's fucking nothing down here. We're just back to the bonfire we were at with Henri.
Where did old Henri get to?
You know, I don't know. Let's look back in Firelink, see if she's there.
Well, I'm sure they're fine.
Oh, you know what? Yuri seems to know a lot of stuff. I bet she'll know.
Honorable Lord of Hollows. Ah, greetings, our lord and liege. Good tidings. Thy spouse is ready.
Spouse?
Ready for what?
The time is right to greet her. The girl awaits thee in the hidden dark moon chamber of Anor Londo.
Oh, I really actually want to look this up now to see if Izzy plays if he plays a woman, if she says the boy is ready.
Till
I'm
we meet again.
almost 100% sure that she
May the
does.
dark sigil guide thee.
It's weird how much creepier that sounds.
The boy!
So, there was a statue here before. And, you know, much like Dark Souls 1, in this exact place, you can roll through the statue. And we could have done that too. But now that everything's been in place, the statue's obviously been removed for us.
Gracious Lord,
We're also now part of the Dark Moon Covenant.
awaits you. You are very near.
I like how,
Please,
in addition to the hallway
the sword
up ahead where we
of
fought Gwendolyn, the rug that you can pray on is right here.
truest
Oh yeah, you're right. I never noticed that.
yet.
These games, they got a good attention to detail.
Okay, so did we actually get something, or was that just like a weird charade?
We got this invisible sword.
Like, I know there's no real precedent for like a character handing you an actual item that you can see in one of these games. But a sword's not exactly a wedding ring. So, oh, what is happening? Henri, you okay?
Henri, how did you let this come to this?
Let's get married.
This is so much better than considering that you're a dragon.
It's so good. And the fact that I'm kindled.
This is supposed to be full of pathos.
Oh no. I don't think I want this. Can I still call off the ceremony?
Your chin is clipping into your chest.
So there we have it. The final 3 Dark Sigils. Now we have all 8.
So, when do we consummate the marriage?
I think the time for that has both passed and not happened all at the same time. If we do a New Game Plus, does that count? Can we go find Henri when she's alive?
I mean, you know.
I mean, how do you even say that? Like, look, Henri, you were dead and we got married, and now you're not dead, but we're still married.
You know, a sword through the face doesn't necessarily have to kill you in these games.
I mean, I think I've pretty much proven single-handedly that that's not the case.
And they're finally dead.
So we are essentially locked in to the ending I've been trying to get. There's still, I can manually fuck this up at any point by healing the Dark Sigil, which gets rid of them forever. But now that we have all 8, we can get the super secret kind of ending.
Oh, aka the best ending.
And the whole chin clipping into my everything else reminded me that someone made a comic of what they did, what From did, that was maybe the best improvement from Dark Souls 1. Is that when you're a dragon in this game, and you take a sip of Estus, it goes into your mouth.
Not into your chest.
And I will find that comic because it's really funny to me, but I mean, there's always that sort of like that charm of, oh, that's actually not where my mouth is.
I mean, all the covenants in Dark Souls 1 had this kind of air of unfinishedness to them.
I would say especially the Dragon Covenant, because it's in an area that's, I think, was Ash Lake or whatever that was called, that was supposed to be PvP focused, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was just supposed to be cool.
I think I remember hearing that they were originally going to have that be a sort of PvP focused area. I don't know if it was supposed to be in the same vein as the forest, or if there was something more to it. But it's definitely, like, it's not Lost Izalith levels of fucking unfinished, but, like, it's definitely maybe a little barren. But, oh, remember Dark Souls? Wow, now I'm sad. This ain't the Pokemon movie. You can't cry over the statue and it'll come back to life.
I know there was a lot of people who said, like, that was genuinely a really sad moment for them. But, like,
It's sad, but it's not sad.
yeah, like, I'm not crying over this blacksmith that I used, like, 4 times in the base game. Or the original game, I should say.
I am not going to cry over the fact that if I wanted to upgrade one thing to the next, to like the level 5 or 10, I had to go to one blacksmith. And then if I wanted to go to the giant blacksmith, I had to go to a bonfire that was like 10 miles away from where he sat. Like, say what you will about Firelink being kind of annoying to have to port back to, but at least everything's right there.
Yeah. It's just another example of how this game improved a lot on the gameplay at the sacrifice of a lot of kind of story stuff, I think.
I mean, if anything, Dark Souls 1 is the bad game, because it's the only Souls game that doesn't have a hub where, like, everyone comes back to.
Yeah, but that works really, really well for the kind of tone of Dark Souls 1. Where it's just, like, a little post-apocalyptic. Because the thing about all the other games is that they have an air of hope to them.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think, like, I think the first time you're introduced to Majula, it's sort of, like, meant to be not as depressing, but I think as you go on, you realize just how, like, empty it all is.
Yeah. Labora.
Labora, please put clothes on.
Wait a second. But like Majula did, you got this kind of sense that you were slowly rebuilding a society. Whereas, and like in Firelink Shrine, it becomes basically a bustling little town hub.
Yep.
Hello.
So this not fun guy is back. It's an Aldrich beast, but he does not have the best enemy name of any of the enemies in this area. So I didn't know until looking up specifically Anne Orlando. But you know those slimes we've been fighting?
Yes.
They have a name.
Oh.
And it's either good or bad depending on how anyone reacts to hearing this name. But they are the rotten flesh of Aldrich.
Oh.
They're maybe actually literally Aldrich.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Not stuck on the door anymore, are ya? But this was the final area that I alluded to where there were slimes falling from an incredibly high ceiling. There's one, I don't think I went to the treasure chest yet, but there's one right above there. Oh boy.
Of course there is. There always is.
So if you listen real close, you could hear that I knocked him into the visceral state when I killed him.
Wonderful.
Like, it played the same sound effect.
If only it was a little bit less, a little bit more health, you could have killed him with the first hit of the visceral attack. I always like doing that.
So we have, like, 1, maybe 2 Estus Flask shards left in the entire game. They're kind of weirdly spaced. Like, they almost seem really packed close together in the middle.
I just found that I maxed it out, like, surprisingly early in the game and just never looked back.
Also, I guess this is proof that I finally learned that fire is good against these guys, and I don't need a firebomb. That took a bit of learning. But let's get going. We got one more Lord of Cinder. Would you say it's the toughest boss fight? Or Lord of Cinder fight, at least?
Yes, without a doubt.
How many times would you say it took you? Your first time?
Oh, God. You know, I didn't have that tough of a time with the boss, but I am just thinking, like, I think it maybe took me 5 tries my first time.
Because it took me about 4 or 5, and I remember hearing that this guy was so tough, and it's like, yes, some of his attacks are fucking monstrous.
I love the way he looks, though. And that arrow attack just looks amazing.
It's not fun to be on the receiving end of, though.
It looks incredible when you die from it, though.
But this is Aldrich, devourer of a very specific god. He's very reminiscent of a certain Gwendolyn who maybe upgraded that snake body, if you want to think about it that way. It's a bit of a misnomer because in Japanese, apparently the Devourer of Gods part of the name is singular.
Oh, so just Devourer of God.
Yeah, it seems like Gwendolyn is the first and thus far only god, and I'm totally not stealing that from Iggy's playthrough because that's where I heard it first. But in looking up, just to sort of see if anyone else had, like, reported on that, like, apparently the Aldrich Faithful in Japanese are called Keepers of the God Eater. And that's a fucking great name.
Although I guess you could argue, I mean, I don't know a lot about Japanese, like, you know, singular versus multiple, language stuff.
I know anime is both singular and plural.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Weird. But I think even Devourer of God could imply that he's eaten more than one.
Maybe. Though we do know that if there was another god, it was maybe a sludge monster. Because eating all those people has turned Aldrich into this.
Yep.
So, we entered the second phase where he's now on fire a long time ago, which upgraded all of his attacks, including that arrow one that now lasts about twice as long.
Hooray!
So my strategy for avoiding that is to go around to a pillar on the far side of the room and just run in a circle.
That move literally always hits me. Every single time.
Aldrich has a real shitty habit, though, of when you're running around a pillar like I do to avoid the arrows, he will use his single blast magic attacks that really home in on you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, please stop spamming this.
Looks so cool.
Yeah, just like this. That attack mixed with the other. And oh man, did you really ever think you'd be seeing the Life Hunt scythe again? Because I don't know, I think we've already seen it, but when that hits you, he does actually steal life.
Yep. And I think he uses Nito's ground spike move.
I think that's at least what's on the end of his spear, is the Gravelord sword.
Something like that. Oh, whoa.
That was almost really bad. But had we not gone the quest route we had with Henri, you can be I think you can be summoned into her world to help her deal with Aldrich. And I believe that is the end of that quest line for her.
There is something poetic in this game that one of the main big bosses just kind of devours things from Dark Souls 1 and regurgitates them.
Yeah, that's actually really, it's a little too on the nose.
I think somebody in the dev team was having a good time.
It's one last lord.
So this is why we didn't take on Yorm last, because you get teleported out after beating the last Lord of Cinder. But I think most people should be in agreement that whether or not you like 2 or 3 more, that they should maybe do something different. Like a Bloodborne 2 would totally be welcome, but I think Dark Souls is good ending with this game.
Yeah, I never want to see anything out of the specifically Soul series ever again.
Tell him what he must be, a lord.
So, if you know where that Basin of Vows goes, during my first playthrough I didn't, but I knew it had to be somewhere in the High Wall of Lothric, and I maybe got a little lost and had to look it up, and then when I heard where it was, I was really embarrassed. I mean, we'll cover that next time, but wow. Wow.
I tricked my friend the first time he played this game into putting the basin on the second that you meet that lady.
Oh no! Oh boy. But we'll be back to this very specific area in the cathedral where we fought Ornstein and Small all the way back when. But for now, that's it.
Good night.